Hi everyone, it's Laura Garcia with Keller Williams, and I just wanted to give an update to the last coronavirus video I did in April about when the pandemic started hitting with the safer at home orders. And so it's been about 5 months since then, and a lot has changed, especially in the real estate market, in the job market, and everything in between. So I just kind of wanted to touch on some things that I'm personally seeing in Jacksonville with the real estate market, and so hopefully this will answer some of your questions. There's a lot going on, so I'm going to just hit the highlights. If you have any specific questions about coronavirus and how it affects you and your real estate decisions, feel free to comment or message below. So the first thing I'm going to touch on is sellers. So at the beginning of the pandemic, it was kind of suspected that a lot of job losses would lead to a recession, and it may switch from a seller's market to a buyer's market. At this point, we are seeing kind of the opposite. Right now, if you're a seller, you are in a really good position. There is a shortage of inventory, which we had that problem before the pandemic, and now it's gotten worse. So sellers are seeing the last few listings I've done in the past 2 to 3 months, we're not even hitting the weekend. I've started putting them on Tuesday rather than Thursday. We're getting multiple offers. We're seeing most offers above asking price. It's very competitive. So if you are a seller right now, this is a good market. We don't know, and that's the thing, timing is everything. We did just pass through what's typically considered busy season, which is the summer, and typically you want to list in April. We kind of saw it delayed, and July was very busy. Now that school's kind of starting, we may see that it may not be as strong of a seller's market, but right now the shortage of inventory is making it hard on buyers but great for sellers. The second thing for sellers right now is pool homes. If you have a pool home right now, you are in a great position. Pool homes are going quickly as a direct result of the pandemic. Before, people were really leaning towards community amenities, having the community pool, CDDs, like especially in St. Johns County, all of that. But, they shut it down during the pandemic. So what we're seeing is a lot more people who, even if it's open, they still don't feel comfortable going to use those community amenities. And right now, if you call a pool company and you want to put a pool in, is a very long waiting list because everyone else has come to the same conclusion that, hey, if I can't leave my house, I would like a pool here to enjoy, and I don't want to go to the community center. So homes that are going on the market with pools already done, or even space for pools, are seeing a major advantage. There's also a trend in regards to pools of, above ground pools used to be considered like an eyesore, and they weren't as desirable, but I've seen a few come on the market that are going just as quickly. It's not going to go for as much as a in-ground pool, but they're still popular. So that's a big thing right now, is we're seeing those pool homes are going quickly. Again, it's a seller's market. If you have a fixing a home that needs repairs, before you'd kind of have to rely on investors, I would really recommend people who need to fix up their property to put it on the MLS right now, because we are seeing first-time home buyers and other people who don't have as high of a budget and are more willing to take on those repairs right now in order to get out of their apartment, to get out of the small living space that they were okay with pre-pandemic. But now that they're working from home, now they have more time on their hands. Like Friday nights, not as many people are going out, so what are they doing? They're working on their home. So if your home is in need of fixing up, I would strongly recommend, don't let that deter you from putting it on the market, because in a seller's market, sellers can be a little more demanding. So you're going to see that demand work in your favor right now. Buyers, on the other hand, that doesn't work in favor for you, but this specifically, I'm talking to sellers right now. You guys are at the advantage. You can be more demanding. You can kind of hold your ground. And that's one of the things that I'm starting to see, and we have suspicions that, the market may be overheating a little bit. That doesn't mean like 2008 levels, but appraisers are doing, in my opinion, a good job of not letting it get crazy by still using valuations, because they take the last 6 months of comparables. So they're doing a good job of making sure that if you do get into a multiple offer situation with your house, appraisers are going to check it. So that's one thing I want to tell sellers is, the highest offer is not always the best offer. So right now you're going to get some ridiculous offers. I've been in some multiple offer situations where some people are going $10K over asking price. that doesn't mean that you should accept that offer, because appraisers, they're using the last 6 months of comparables, and they're not going to let a bank overpay for a property, especially right now when lenders are on high alert about giving out loans that aren't going to work. So I would strongly suggest that when you are talking to your realtor, you look at other things, not just, okay, how high is their offer? What else do they have? Do they have a strong deposit? Have they already gone through underwriting? Are these buyers more able to take on the loan? Do they have more secure jobs? Extra stuff that's going to ensure that that contract actually closes, and that, 4 months or 4 weeks in, when you are getting ready to move and close, you aren't running into the problem of it appraised undervalued because you went with the crazy offer. So those are some things I would tell to sellers. Is it's a very strong market for you guys. We don't know if it's the peak. We don't know if it's going to get better. We are not sure yet, but right now the predictions were not what it was, which is that we thought a recession was going to cause the market to switch to a buyer's market, and right now it's really a strong seller's market. And so if you're looking to sell, now may be the time. We don't know what it's going to look like in 2021. So next, I want to talk to buyers. I was just telling sellers that it's a strong seller's market, which if you're a buyer right now can be a little rough. I've worked with multiple buyers in different price points where you're dealing with a lot of multiple offer situations. You need to be out, especially if you're going for a pool home. You need to be at that property the same day. And even then, it doesn't always play in your favor, because the agent may call for multiple offers for 3 days after that. So you may, even if you get there first, may then be waiting because they're trying to collect as many offers as possible. So again, if you are a buyer right now, think about creative ways to make your offer strong. One thing that really works is write a letter. Like if you're going to be in a multiple offer situation, write a letter about how you're going to use the property. What is your family going to do? Really a more emotional side of it. That may work to your advantage. Not every realtor gives those letters, but it doesn't hurt to write one up and kind of play on the emotional heartstrings. Again, more money. Realtors, sellers like more money, and that tends to bode well, but also higher binders, waiving different contingencies, maybe the appraisal contingency, maybe the financing contingency, the inspection contingency. All these things you can do to make your offer stronger by not necessarily just throwing more money at the seller. So if you are tight on cash in a property that's going into multiple offer situation, get creative, give the higher binder, write a personal letter to the seller. Just do things that kind of make your offer stand out, because right now, you are competing against a lot of people, and surprisingly, there's also a lot of cash buyers out right now. So it's hard to compete sometimes, but if you can do little things to differentiate yourself, sellers, sometimes will go for someone who has a lower offer because they wrote a very sweet letter and they want that house to go to that person. So it's very small sometimes, but it doesn't hurt to write a letter and do extra things. Another thing that buyers need to be aware of is interest rates right now. Interest rates are really good. I'm about to close on a house on Friday where they locked in at 2.5%. That is incredibly low. Way lower than what they had planned, and they're going to save about $250 a month because they locked into that rate versus I think they were planning for 3 or 3.5. So those types of savings can lead to you getting a bigger house because you can qualify or you can afford more, but also can lead to savings over the course of the whole loan. Like 2.5% versus 3% over 30 years, that's a lot less interest that you're paying and can really add up and help you get deals even in a tough market like this, where there is not as much inventory. And then the other thing I would like to tell buyers in this market is, I'm working with some buyers where we're getting creative, knocking on doors, asking sellers that maybe think that they can't sell because of the coronavirus, letting them know, hey, we'll buy it from you, we can make it work, and kind of getting the word out there. The way you would do that is, pick a certain neighborhood, talk to your realtor, like I want to live in X neighborhood, and then have the realtor look up, okay, who hasn't sold the past 5 to 7 years. Most sellers sell around 5 to 7 years, and have them start contacting them, maybe via phone, maybe by door knocking, maybe just a letter, and see if that seller is willing to sell. And that can really help for buyers because you're not competing as much, but also it can help kind of get the word out that it is a strong seller's market, and some people who may have been thinking of listing at before the pandemic and held off are now more aware of, okay, I can sell my property right now. It just looks different. So being creative with finding off-market options is definitely something I recommend. As a realtor, it's not the most fun to do because you're going to get a lot of no's before you get a yes. But if you're willing to collaborate with a realtor and kind of communicate, okay, what houses do you like driving down a neighborhood street and picking out, I like this house, this house, this house, and then we contact the property owners and see. You never know what will happen. So that's kind of what's been going on in the coronavirus realm as it relates to real estate. Kind of overview, great market for sellers, very tight for buyers, but interest rates are low, so you can see a lot of savings over the course of the loan. So that is a great thing to know. But if you have any questions, feel free to comment or message me. There's a lot going on. Really just hit the highlights. You can sell your home right now. We do masks, we do hand sanitizer. You can even put your house on the market and require that nobody tours until they submit an offer. So if you are really one of the ones that is very concerned, you can still get your property sold and limit the number of people. You don't have to treat this market like everybody else does. You can have your cake and eat it too right now in a seller's market. So if you don't want people entering your property until you know what their price is going to be and that you guys are on the same page, you can negotiate before they even see it. And that's one of the things I'm also recommending, which I do on all my listings anyway, which is virtual tours. If you want to limit the number of people that go into your house, anybody who contacts for a tour, have your realtor send them the virtual tour first. You can weed out a lot of people doing that. And a virtual tour, not a bunch of photos put to PowerPoint, but an actual walkthrough tour where they can see the property, they can look around, they can see everything. 3D tours are also good. So I would recommend using that option to limit the number of people in your house. And then I would also recommend, if you're still uncomfortable, definitely recommending that people negotiate before they even can step foot in your house. And then, of course, if they don't like it after they go in, that's one tour that maybe it doesn't go as planned. But at least you didn't have 5 people who really they weren't going to pay full price anyway, so you weren't going to sell the house. At least you knew that ahead of time. So those are some quick tips, quick thoughts. Again, we have the election coming up, and so things are probably going to change after the election. Before the pandemic, some people were thinking that we were going to hit a recession after the election, just because neither party is very happy right now. So now that you add in the pandemic, we might see... it'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Honestly, I did not think this is where we're going to be in August. I had a great year, not expecting that. And maybe it'll continue, or maybe we'll switch into a buyer's market where you're going to start to see foreclosures. We really don't know right now. This is unprecedented. So if you have any questions or you want me to keep you in the loop, just let me know. Thanks for watching.